Good evening, I'm Scotty. Obviously, that's Motty, so we're a little bit late this evening, or unless you're watching on catch up, in which case, why are you late? Right? Obviously, tonight we're going to be talking about Ten Hag's big rebuild. I was a bit unsure what that meant until Jay Motty filled me in with all the exciting news that we're about to break for you here, live on Scotty and Motty.
Well, we have got a bit of breaking news, sort of. Yeah, I mean, what is breaking news? How long do you get before it's no longer breaking and it's just news?
Are we going by current trends on social media?
If you want.
About 2 weeks.
2 weeks, right. In that case, it's as breaking as it can get. 38 minutes ago,
yes,
Fabrizio Romano, the Tier 1 transfer guru himself, there's a debate over whether it's him or Ornstein who's the top dog, but that's another debate for another podcast. Tweeted, start again. Marcus Rashford has signed new deal at Manchester United. It's all sealed and delivered. Club statement soon. Verbal agreement reached 1 month ago. As revealed, it's now all signed and completed. Contract valid until June 2028. 5-year deal confirmed. And then the tick emoji. Happy about that, son?
Yeah, very happy. I don't think that it was ever in doubt. To be honest, no.
Did you not get a little PSG? Look at us, we got loads of money.
I thought after Solskjaer's final season, there may be a chance that he may go over to the French capital. But how he performed last year under Ten Hag, having probably his best season, I'd say, at Manchester United.
I think that's a fair comment.
I disagree with that. Why would you leave a club on the rise, whereas Paris Saint-Germain just seemed to be a club in turmoil, and it's his boyhood club, and it's the greatest club in the world? Why would you leave? And I'm pretty sure he's getting paid a penny for it.
I think there was a kind of maybe a point in his career under Ralph Rangnick where things were going wrong, and there was talk that PSG was seriously in for him. And you thought, if it carried on like this, then maybe he could leave. Maybe the new manager could come in if that form that Marcus had been showing was bad and carried on. Then maybe the new manager wouldn't even want him. He might go, listen, you've not the player that I thought or I need. But it was always a blip, that, wasn't it? If you look at his career at United, he's always been in amongst the goals. He's had multiple 20-plus seasons, so that was a bit of an outlier. He showed straight away under Erik ten Hag what he's about. I was over in Thailand, I think it was, or Melbourne, when he had the press conference, Erik ten Hag, with Marcus, and he was praising him and saying he's a great example to the other players that have come through the academy, like you just mentioned there. Probably his best ever season, 30 goals, loads of assists, winning that trophy as well and getting a third place finish and staying fit for a lot of the season as well, which is a big thing for Marcus. He didn't seem to be sometimes he plays games when he's injured and he's playing for injury. That didn't seem to be the case as much last season. There was a couple of times where you thought, is he 100%? But by and large, he seemed fit, didn't he?
And let's not forget, he played a World Cup as well.
Yeah, in the middle of the season, which is obviously the first time that's happened. Yeah. So played a lot of games, scored a lot of goals, won a trophy, finished top 3. Like you said, boyhood Manchester United fan, come through the academy. I always have this argument as well, because I've heard some people who criticise Marcus and go, is he all that? He's not all, he might have goals and assists in his game, but sometimes his performances aren't all this just nonsense that I'm not really buying into. But if you was to replace Marcus Rashford, you would have to go out and spend over 100 million.
I don't see who you're replacing with. There is no obvious.
And who are you getting? Who are you buying? Yeah. Let's put it this way: we spent about 80 million quid-ish on Anthony. Now, I like Anthony. I think he's got a future. He scored, 5-6 goals last season?
Yeah.
You spent 73 million on Jadon Sancho. Again, similar numbers. It's not easy to go out and get an inverted winger who's going to get you 30 goals. They don't grow on trees. So if you are going to get someone like that, you're right, there isn't anyone available. And even if there were, I think you're going to have to spend 100 million quid, which we haven't got to spend on one player.
Do you think that he could be the new United captain?
Great segue.
I know that a lot of people are saying Bruno Fernandes. Me personally, I would give it to either Martinez or Rashford. Ooh. I like Bruno. I just think that his temperament and he loves a good moan.
Right.
In terms of demonstration of his ability on the pitch and in play, he gives his all a hell of a lot of time. Even Casemiro, but I don't know. Maybe it's the romantic in me. Rashford, Manchester, captain in Manchester United up front.
I'll get in some of the comments and we'll talk about the Rashford and the captaincy as well. Apologies, Bernardino. Why are you talking football news? Apologies for that. James Kelland, King Dino in the chat. Jay Hutchinson as well says, I'm turning to Mo Farah. Oh, Raf22 says Rashford is underrated. Yes. Who else? Daniel Coe. Thank you for the compliment. Thank you. And, keep at it. Jonathan Martin says, love you guys. Jays Parker says, evening Scotty, evening Motty, love you guys. Daniel Fart says he's on a par with Vinny Jr. and Mbappe, just in a tougher situation and tougher league, in my honest opinion. So that's
it would be interesting
company there, isn't it?
No, but I mean, if it like Vinny Jr. and Mbappe are undoubtedly playing in weaker leagues.
Yeah.
What would Marcus Rashford bag in La Liga or the French league?
In the French league, well, if he gets 30 in all competitions in the Premier League, and I think 17 in the Premier League, I'd expect him to hit 20 plus in the League 1.
Yeah.
And I expect him to get similar numbers in
Or is that your French?
League 1.
Un.
Yeah. How would you say it?
No, it's just the extension of the lips, like you're
League
pouting.
Un. That's how you do it.
Is that how the French
That's
do
what
it?
they taught me at French in school. They said if you want to speak French, just do that. And you're laughing. So yeah, League 1.
Can I just stop you for a second?
League 1.
While I ask people to subscribe?
Yes, please do.
We're about, we're 300, less than 300 subscribers off 8,000?
Yeah, man, just nearly 8,000.
So, if you're watching this, don't cost you anything. He doesn't think that we'll get up to 8,000 subscribers before he goes out to America. And he said he'll get me a New York Knicks jersey should we reach 8,000 by Wednesday. So if you're watching this, I know it doesn't mean a lot, but it does to us. And we've been getting decent numbers on the views, but not so much on the subscriptions. I'd like authentic New York Knicks. New York Knicks.
What do they play?
Baseball. And if you can press subscribe, then he's got to fulfill on that as a gift from his friend.
New York Knicks?
Yes.
But baseball, yeah?
Baseball.
Right, okay, yeah. So if I go to the baseball stadium, Met Stadium, and say, can I have a New York Knicks baseball jersey?
Yeah.
They'll give me one, yeah? Right, okay,
and
I'll do that.
Gets one of them pucks.
I'll get you a puck as well, yeah, because I love watching them score all the wickets.
Yep.
Right, enough of this. Right, Rashford as a captain, it's a good point. I like Marcus. He's a good ambassador for the club. He off the pitch, he's phenomenal. He's right up my street. The fact he helped feed a load of kids and made the government do a U-turn. I'm into all that. On the pitch, scoring goals, like you say, come through the academy, always gives his all. Will play for injury, but for me, he's not a captain.
He's not a captain.
Nope. And I couldn't love Marcus if I tried more than I do, but I think he's quite quiet on the pitch. He's one of those players where I think he sort of benefits from not having to have that responsibility. If you look at him sometimes, I think one of Marcus's best traits, and this might sound a little odd, is he's able to shrug it off when he's annoyed. He's able to just sort of keep himself to himself and focus on his own game. You can see it sometimes when Garnacho goes down a wing, square ball, no, I'm having a dig. And you can see Marcus fuming, but he doesn't say anything, he just gets on with it.
Down.
Yeah, and I think that's the way he plays, and he's played very well under Erik ten Hag in particular doing that. I think you start putting more responsibility as a captain. The referee wants to talk to the captain more often than not. There's other things where people start going, well, why is Marcus not doing that? Why is Marcus not talking to him? Why is Marcus... All of a sudden, there's even more expectation on this guy. And I'll be honest with you, Scotty, I love... who was your other suggestion? Sorry, Martinez. Love Lisandro Martinez. He is a leader, and I'm not disputing that. But I think Bruno's done his time. I think he deserves it.
Yeah, I think he'll get it. I was just trying to see if there was anybody. Were you surprised by Harry Maguire's, is it demotion? Is that what we're classing it as?
I like that. That seems better than stripped to the captaincy.
Yeah.
When you say stripped to the captaincy, I always think of someone who's just had a shock, done something, like brought the club into disrepute.
Yeah.
And he's been stripped to the captaincy after, being caught taking drugs in a hotel room with 18 prostitutes or whatever. Not like he's been stripped of it because basically he's not being picked anymore. It seemed a bit melodramatic, but technically that is true.
Yeah, I mean, you can't drive the car from the passenger seat.
No, you're right, you can't. And let's face facts, it was getting a bit silly at times as well. Like in the Carabao Cup final, I thought it was a bit much. Came on for the last few minutes. Okay, I get it. He's the club captain. But part of me just thought, just let Bruno pick it up. He's won it. And, it's not like Brian Robson and Steve Bruce, that scenario, is it?
End of days for Harry? Because West Ham today, I believe,
cheeky,
have had their loan deal.
Loaning?
Yeah.
What planet are they on? They're not going to loan him to you. That's ridiculous.
Who's going to buy him?
I think lots of clubs will buy him,
I don't think lots of clubs could afford his wages, though.
Do you reckon he could go to Chelsea?
Well, Chelsea seems to buy everybody.
And also, I think he walks into their team.
Yeah, he'd go to Chelsea for a season. They just lost their goodbye, haven't they, to...
Koulibaly was a disastrous signing for them.
Yeah.
Thiago Silva, I don't know if he's still there, but he's 38 or 39 or something.
That might not be a bad shout, actually. And if you don't work out at Chelsea, you can always move to Saudi Arabia. Because that seems to be the...
Yeah, and I think Wesley Fofana, I took pelters for questioning when he was linked with us. He's not exactly set the world alight there. So I think Harry Maguire, still only 30 years old, England international, and I think he's a good Premier League defender. I just don't think he's a Premier League defender who's going to win you a title.
And Chelsea could afford his wages.
Yeah, 100%.
Go to Stamford Bridge, Harry, with our blessing, please.
That'd sort of fix a lot of problems. King Dino says, yeah, Rashford would get 50 for PSG. Raf22 says, you don't want the Knicks. Believe me, you don't. Dead Scrolling says, easy lads, good to see you. Jace Park says, what about giving the vice captaincy to the longest serving player at the club? Who is the longest serving player at the club now?
At United now, it would be Rashford, wouldn't it?
Is it
in that 11?
If you can account the academy, yeah. Because I think Martial was just before him in terms of breaking into the first team.
Martial isn't going to be there next season.
No, I'm just... Oh, Shaw.
Shaw.
Of course. Luke Shaw's been there since 2014, hasn't he?
He's weird, isn't it, how long Shaw's
I forgot about him. 9 years.
That's 9 years?
Yeah.
Luke Shaw's up for a testimonial next year. That is mad shit.
I know. It is. But yeah, it was Van Gaal who signed him.
I like Luke Shaw again.
Yeah.
I might hate him again next season. He's one of them players, isn't he? I really, really hope he has another good season like he did last year, because he was brilliant in the patches. But and when he moved into centre back as well, so I'm expecting big things.
It's weird with Luke Shaw, because I think Luke Shaw's ceiling is genuinely as high as any left backs in the world. I do. I think talent wise, when he's on it, he's as good as any other left back you can find on this planet. I genuinely believe that. I just think the problem is he's inconsistent. He doesn't reach those heights enough. Now, last season, he reached them a lot more than usual, and I think he had probably his best season for Manchester United.
Do you think that was down to Ten Hag, or do you think that was down to maybe his numbers were up if he didn't start putting in a performance?
I think there's a lot of things that sort of help Luke Shaw, or I think he needs competition for his place. We've always seen Luke Shaw playing better when he's had a Brandon Williams or an Alex Tellez or an Ashley Young. Even maybe Ashley Young was a bad one because he didn't really perform that season. Or now a Tyrell Malacia, because don't forget Luke Shaw started the first 2 games, didn't he? Malacia comes in for the Liverpool game. I think it was Southampton, Leicester, Arsenal.
Yeah.
Luke Shaw's basically dropped. And then Luke Shaw comes back and shows us the best form for me.
Yeah.
He's shown in years.
Which means the Malacia move was a great move.
Yeah,
really,
100%. And €40 million to get... And also Malacia can do a job for you, but I think he's not in the same class as Luke Shaw. But then you see him go into centre-back. And was it the City game at Old Trafford?
Yeah.
Where he was just phenomenal.
Yeah.
And he's had a few amazing games at centre-back. So I think he's just playing really well. He's enjoying his football. He's got a manager who 100% believes in him. I know you might say, well, we believed in Manny Barry Malacia, but Malacia's pretty much back up. And also, he's picked Luke Shaw as centre-back ahead of Harry Maguire, ahead of his captain. And if that's not a ringing endorsement, I don't know what is. And I also think Luke Shaw's in a pretty good position at the minute now. He's been at the club for a long time. He's playing with players he obviously knows really well. He's established as the England left-back. That wasn't always a given, was it? And now I think if he's fit, he plays for England. I don't think there's any discussion there. I think he easily gets in the team ahead of the likes of Chilwell, and I don't know who else is in that left-back. And also, as you know, producer Alexis pointed out, if you look at his interviews recently, he's given the sort of interviews you want to hear from a United player.
Yeah.
Seems confident, seems settled, happy. And he should be if you're 9 years in. And I think that if we can keep getting the best out of Luke Shaw, that's massively important for Manchester United.
Can we keep getting better players through the door, though? That is the question, because
Onana,
I reckon, is going to be... I work on the radio.
It's not his first rodeo.
Onana tomorrow, they reckon?
Onana tomorrow, yes. I mean, it's weird with this one, isn't it? Because I feel like it's been going on for that long. I've not got the excitement that I would have had it came out of the blue a little bit. We've had sort of 3 weeks, haven't we, to process this.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. It's nailed on. He wants him. In at want to sell him, or willing to sell him. De Gea's going. There's no drama here. Get ready for Onana. And I'm used to the idea of him coming. Now he is coming. I think the obvious point to this is he is what we need, and I'm glad we've got him. And Erik Ten Hag obviously wants him for a reason. It's going to be a bumpy ride for a little bit at least.
Yes.
I think we have to sort of fasten your seatbelts for this one.
I think so. It's total opposite end of the spectrum to the conservative goalkeeping style of David De Gea. Brilliant shot stopper and goalkeeper on his day. But I've been watching a lot of Onana's clips, and yeah, it's going to be fun. But, football moves forward, and De Gea's gone, and I think, it's going to be interesting. I think, do you reckon we could have a heart attack at Old Trafford next season? What do you reckon the odds are on that? And I just wonder, do we have CPR equipment at Old Trafford? We haven't got a roof that works. I'm just wondering what the medical
we've
stuff.
We've got defibrillators knocking about. Do you know what I mean? We've got a few of them.
We've got the left.
Yeah, we've got
Someone running round to the Stretford end. Quick,
we get chuck us out of the defibrillator. I think, he's going to cause, like, if I had it, I'd probably lose it watching him.
Yeah.
But it's going to be worth it, I think. I think you're going to get a player that helps United kick on. And also, with a player like that, you can't change him, and you don't want him. You can't say to him, well, don't play out.
If you're signing him because he does something, you can't start saying, well, don't do that.
There was that story, wasn't there? Apparently, didn't the Cameroon national manager tell him to stop playing out the back?
Yeah.
And he said, I'm not doing that. So I think he either dropped or he left the squad.
You see, he went home, didn't he?
Yeah, he said, I'm not. He's like Roy Keane style. No, you can stick it. I'm going. Which shows you how determined he is to play that way. Erik Ten Hag obviously worked with him at Ajax for a few years, knows what he's about. You can see we were trying to do this with David De Gea, and it just didn't work.
No.
David De Gea is not that guy. And what did for us at the end of the season as well was we kind of got away with it for a while because of Martinez and how good he is on the ball. But once you took Martinez out, we suffered a little bit because you had David De Gea who's nervy, then you had other players who just aren't quite as comfortable as Martinez. When you're under pressure, he doesn't care. He's got 3 players around him. He'll get himself out of trouble and carry the ball. Other defenders aren't quite at that level, and it showed, and I think it did for us towards the end of the season, especially in the FA Cup final.
The worrying thing with Onana signing isn't the player, it's the lack of money that might be left in the pot. So what we expect to happen next is Henderson to sign at Forest. Do you think then, because Forest know that United need to sell players to make money to buy more, that they might try and lowball us in this deal? Because there was rumours of 30 million for Henderson.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird, isn't it, with Henderson? Because you're looking at a goalkeeper who is, I think he's got an England cap, hasn't he?
He should be up there with what's his name? For the
Ramsdale,
and who's the other guy who plays for Everton?
Pickford.
Yeah. You know, he's as good as them, I think.
He's a 25-year-old goalkeeper who's already got quite a bit of experience for someone that young. Played, I think, was it for Sheffield United? Full season, was their player of the season.
He looked great when he was... I thought that was a natural, replacement.
Went back to United, had a very good spell, got into the team, was first choice under Ollie for a bit. Then he got COVID and never recovered from it because...
From COVID?
Yeah, well, De Gea came back into the team.
Oh, right, I thought you meant he never recovered.
No, sorry, well, he did actually have long COVID according to the rumours. But then De Gea came back into the team and then... that was the end of that, really. He didn't handle it in the right way.
No.
To be honest with you. Because I think he spat his dummy out. He said he didn't even want to wait around for Erik Ten Hag to get here. He just wanted to go away. And then he did that interview, which was just terrible. And it just sort of burnt his bridges, I feel. And the manager probably watched that and thought, this guy's not for me. He's come back. Doesn't look like he's remotely in Erik Ten Hag's plans. Which is surprising a little bit. Because you think... If you want a progressive keeper, he's not that bad at that. He's actually quite decent on the ball, whatever, but he's just, I don't think he's as good as Onana, right? But you might give him a chance, especially if you've got a limited budget, you need to buy a striker, you might have gone, let's see what Henderson's about. I think Erik Ten Hag just thought, no, he's not for me at all. So yeah, I think he goes for Forest. It will be annoying to me if we don't get 25 million for him, at least, because you've just seen the kid, whose name escapes me, going from City to Burnley. Who's, I think he's 19 years old, has only played at Bolton in League One. Trafford, that's it. And it's Andrew Trafford. James Trafford, I got that completely wrong. James Trafford, he's gone for 90 million, never kicked a ball in the Premier League, up-and-coming keeper. Surely you can get more for someone like Dean Henderson, who is an established goalkeeper. I know he's just had an injury damaged season, but he's still a very good goalkeeper. Yeah,
I mean, and there's a lot of pressure on United now after we got these 2 signings, and we definitely do need to sell to make sure we're going to get someone in, because we'll only have 30 mil, would you say, left rocking around? And if we're looking for Hojlund, rumours are 70 million euros to get him in. I'm still of the belief that if we manage to sell a good number of players, that United may still be in for Harry Kane.
You really think?
I think we'd have to, like, basically shift it all.
Yeah.
All of it.
Right. Well, I'm going to get started. Let me go through some of the comments. I'm going to get back to that on you. Stephen Showers says, Martinez captain. Raf22 says, Jay is a tip for you. Trip to New York. The Ribalta restaurant has top tier food and loves their football. A lot of players, including Pirlo, have eaten there. Johnny Escott says, evening lads. Dubai big coat loving Johnny here.
Has it changed his name since he went over there?
I don't know. Honestly.
Does he wear his coat on the beach?
Probably,
Does
doesn't
it?
it?
Yeah.
Hey, singing his E17
You
songs.
could take the lad out of Old Trafford.
Hey, wait for Bayern to agree a deal for Kane, then offer Spurs 40 million more, plus Martial and Maguire, and live happily ever after. You're welcome. Yeah, okay. So if Bayern Munich offer Spurs 80 million, we'll offer him 120 million and Maguire and Martial.
I honestly think if Harry Kane...
I don't think so.
What move do you think Harry Kane wants more?
I think he wants Bayern.
Ahead of Man United?
You know why?
Because he'll definitely win something at Bayern Munich.
I think...
But didn't he win the Hot Wing Challenge? Like, how many trophies does that man want?
That's true.
12 months ago, he was
you
winning
come to
nothing.
United, right?
And now he's won Hot Wings.
You know, there's a good chance you win the Bangkok Century Cup, which everyone...
Great. Well, it's not. What is it this season? The USA Yankee Doodle Age Trophy?
Probably.
Yeah.
There's that. But I think you go to Bayern Munich, right? You win the league. You probably win the cup. You might even win the Champions League. They've won 2 of the last 10, I think. So it's not beyond the realms of possibility that you can win a Champions League. You come to Manchester United. The likelihood is, because the thing that Harry Kane...
Why are you underselling us?
No, because I think, if we're being honest, Harry Kane comes to Manchester United, right? Now, if you get Harry Kane, normally you think, right, that's it, title challenge, maybe title win. But City are just a cut above. And I still think if we get Harry Kane, unless everyone stays injury-free, I still think City are favourites for the title.
Who cares about the Premier League? If we get Harry Kane, I think we could win the Champions League.
Right, okay, that's. I think, and I'm not laughing at you, because I think winning the Champions League is more likely than winning the Premier League.
Yes, with Harry Kane.
Yeah, look at some of the teams that have won the Champions League. Chelsea finished 6th, won the Champions League twice. Liverpool finished 5th in 2005, won the Champions League. You had, I think Dortmund won it in the 90s, but still.
United finished second the year when we won the treble.
We won in 99. You can have a team that isn't... Look, Chelsea. Oh, yeah, I've mentioned them already. Sorry. Liverpool, I think, won the Champions League and they didn't win the league. I think they finished, second to City. So you can not be the best team in England and still win the Champions League. You just need a bit of rubber to green in terms of injuries and to turn up for the big games.
A decent draw.
Yeah, a decent draw. Turn up for the big games and maybe you go, right, we'll sack off the league games and we'll just focus on that. Yeah. It can happen. Spurs got to a final. So, and, they weren't great. So it can happen.
What is it looking? Is it looking 70 mil for Hojlund? So if it was to get Kane out of Spurs to United, is it 120 they're looking at?
I don't think it's that much,
I don't think it's that much.
I think the issue for me is, I think Levy might be reluctant for United. I think you'd have to really improve the offer. Because you'd have to go, because the thing with Levy is, he's got to sell this to the Spurs fans as well. They're already going to be fuming that Kane's going. And if Levy's going, Kane's going, he wanted to leave. There's a year left on his deal. Yeah. We've got to get some money. He's got to Bayern Munich. He's not in the Premier League. We've got 75 million, 80 million quid for a player who's just turned 30 and has 1 year left on his deal and has given his entire career to Spurs so far. I think the Spurs fans go, all right, okay, stomach it. If he goes to United, if he goes, we'll get him 90 million, but he's got to United, I think the Spurs fans kick off. And I think Levy, I don't think he's quite the golden boy that people think he is. I think he comes under a bit of pressure there.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, but it won't be the first time that Spurs have lost their best player to a better club. I mean, they've lost 2 of them to United over the years.
I know,
they?
but I know.
Sol Campbell went to Arsenal,
but again, he ran his contract down, didn't he?
True.
And I think you're right with the Sheringham and Berbatov and Carrick thing.
Yeah.
But again, that was United in our pomp. I think now it's harder for United to make that move happen.
Why? Because Spurs think that they're some sort of competition to Manchester United. They need to have a reality check.
I agree. I mean, United is easily the biggest club in the country. Let's not kid ourselves. And I think Harry Kane does have a good chance of winning something at United if he comes. I think he might not be the first season, but the second season definitely could see him winning a title. I don't see City doing 5 in a row. I mean, might eat these words. But I can see United winning a title in a couple of years if we get someone like Harry Kane. I just feel that, is he as keen on that move? I'm not sure. And I think for him, he's been beaten with his stick. He's lost 3 finals. I think, is it 2 at Spurs and 1 for England? I think it was 3, 4 finals. He's never won anything. I think that would be a guarantee you are winning something. Yeah. You go to Bayern Munich. I can't imagine he went there and he didn't win the league. Like that. Like after, 11 years, 10 years, whatever he's done on the trot. So I think you go there, he'll bang him in. We know he will. He'll score some 40 goals or something. He'll get a title. That is off his back. And even in his head, he might even think, I could go to Bayern Munich, right? Have 1 or 2 seasons there. He looks after himself, Harry Kane. Come back to England when I'm 32, having won some trophies. and still have a couple of seasons in the Premier League where I can have a stab at that Premier League record. Because you look at someone like Lewandowski, for example, he's a similar-ish player. No, he's not the same. But he looks after himself. I won't be surprised Harry Kane is playing when he's 33, 34 at the very top level.
Okay, so we've looked at Onana, and we're talking there about my outlandish belief that Harry Kane may still have a chance of signing for Manchester United. I'm putting you on the spot, as I like to do.
Go on, this is the last one because we have to.
Yes, I know. All right, sunshine. Hojlund, what do you think is more reality this season? Do you think Hojlund for United at 20, unproven outside of one season in Serie A? And even then, his goal-scoring record isn't immense, 9 in 32, I think it is.
In Serie A.
In Serie A.
Yeah.
And then there doesn't seem to be another option. Are you happy that Mount, Onana and Hojlund, is that what you want?
Mount, Onana and Hojlund. That is a decent window. It's not
done before the end of July as well.
Done before the end of July, that's good. The floor with that one is Hojlund.
Because he's an unknown quantity.
Because he's an unknown. Mount, good, but wasn't top of my wish list, if I'm being brutally honest. Onana, yeah, we need a new goalkeeper. We really have needed this for a little while. I'm glad we've got this one over the line. Hojlund could potentially be world class. Not there yet. I feel a bit like you're missing a big player there. Now, if you had all those players and a Harry Kane, that's a very good window.
Yeah.
If you had all those players and you brought in someone like Polina from Fulham, who I quite like, or someone who can be another option in defensive midfield, I love that. I still feel you're a little bit short because if Casemiro gets injured, we're still scraping around for someone to cover him. You're probably going to McTominay. Looks like Fred's going out the door. If Hojlund doesn't hit the ground running like we hope he will, it's all on Marcus Rashford to get goals again. And it's flawed that option to me.
But I mean, even if Hojlund joins and we only score 9 goals, that'll still be like equal Martial's record last season.
Yeah, I mean, if he scores 9 league goals
in his debut season at the age of 20.
Someone else has put Ed, and I put him on the thumbnail as well as put not Ed, but the person he's mentioned. Don't forget as well to subscribe to our Patreon for extra content. There's a link in the chat. He says, don't forget Amrabat or another 6. Yeah, Sofian Amrabat would be a decent signing as a sort of backup option.
I just think that's the backup midfielder is probably way down on the pecking order. Goalkeeper, midfielder, striker's got to be next. And if we can scrape any pennies out of the pockets of the Glazers, then it will be a cover for central midfielder. Anyway, Jay's got to catch a bus. Can we get out on the wide, please? If we say goodbye, thank you very much. Another cracking Sterling performance by producer Alexa. Well done. Well done.
Can I just say as well,
notes on the screen.
Scotty, he fought for the Agony Uncles content, right? I was underwhelmed with the idea. I'm a big man who can hold my hands up when I'm wrong. I was like, yeah, all right. And the response was great. Really enjoyed it. It was a great bit of content. And we're going to do another one very soon. People have been sending their problems. And yeah, it was a really good idea. So well done. Like a broken clock is right twice a day.
Twice a year.
He was right then.
Yeah. All right. Well, subscribe. When we're back, are you doing anything from
America? We'll do a Zoom from America. And plus, we'll have some extra content coming for the patrons as well. But me and him will be back next week. Might not be Monday at 7. We'll keep you posted. We're going to work out the time difference and everything. But we'll be back next week with a live vid.
Cheers.